Hey, it's Jonathan Lunger at Hologramchat.com, and this is episode 71 of the Fireside Chat. And tonight may be the last episode ever. Um, had a thing where my original YouTube account got deleted and terminated, and um, I'm in the process of trying to get that fixed. If I can't, then this may be the last episode, but once again, I'm very happy to have my friend Scott Bravell on here, and we're going to talk about not giving up on your dreams. How you doing, Scott?
Great, Jonathan. Having a great evening so far. Glad to be with you again.
Great. Yeah, we were talking earlier about staying optimistic. Like I wrote that blog post, the open letter, because I love YouTube. I hope that they'll let me stay on there. And when you have family personal videos up, it's like having a house fire. You don't want to lose those baby pictures and all that stuff. So I really hope that it'll get resolved. But if not, I'll just keep marching on, and got to make the best of every day. And you were mentioning a great concept today. We were both thinking about the same stuff today about not giving up on your dreams and making a plan for your dreams. Um, you mind repeating some of what you said about that?
Sure. There's an old saying that your present circumstances don't determine your future outcome, and I think a lot of people are kind of losing sight of that more and more today, with the way the economy is, the way that people kind of get almost depressed about their job circumstances or the fact that they're not working, things like that. There's a lot of frustration with the economic climate in the country these days, and I think it's important to maintain some of that optimism. Say to yourself that my present circumstances doesn't mean that things can't change for the better. Remaining optimistic. In the old circumstances with putting things out to the universe and the law of attraction, there's a saying that when there's open spaces and there's room for things to be added, that's when the universe wants to add things in. So if you kind of keep your options open and not say, well, my present circumstance means I'm stuck here, I'm going to be here forever, or I'm never going to get out of this job, I'm never going to get out of this marriage if you've got a bad marriage, or I'm never going to get out of this bad relationship, or I'm never going to make more money or something like that. If you're telling that, if you're using that kind of self-talk to yourself, and it really, if you're throwing that kind of stuff or that kind of vibration out to the universe is kind of going to take that and fill that in. Whereas on the other hand, if you say, well, these are my present circumstances, that doesn't mean that that can't change or get better in the future. If you have positive expectations, expect the best.
Yeah.
We're all going to have challenges in life. We're all going to have disappointments, but that doesn't mean you should let go of your dreams. You should not stop expecting that things are going to get better. If you're going through a rough time, it means it's more of an opportunity for you to make things better. I saw something the other day where somebody said that one door closing or one type of disappointment means that another door is opening for possible a good outcome. So you don't always know when something happens and you look at it as a failure. It could be that door had to close for another door open for an opportunity for you. And I think you have to look at things that way and kind of, like you said, move on, keep marching on. Life is full of surprises and unexpected outcomes. You can't always, it's kind of like what makes it interesting about our lives, our whole experiences, I think, in a way, is that if everything was according to some plan, if you set some plan and everything followed that plan and there was never any unexpected changes, it'd be kind of boring after a while. So, in that sense, I think it's important to hold on to when you have goals that you're passionate about. They can survive some of these challenges that life throws at you.
Yeah, that's so true, and I appreciate you adding all that. And I went to a movie last night by Mike Dooley called Thoughts Become Things, and he was in the original Secret movie talking about the law of attraction, and he mentioned that same concept. It was just like if you want some great thing to happen in your life, you got to kind of make room for it. Like if you want to, get a new boat, you got to get the dock where you're going to tie the boat to, or if you want to get some ties, you got to get a tie rack, or just getting ready for it. And you're right about the thoughts becoming, because like for instance, we say to ourselves in negative self-talk things that we would never say, like even to our worst enemy. Like we can be so tough on ourselves sometimes because we've seen the good we can do and we have high expectations. So, it's okay to be tough with yourself, but don't let that become a pattern of negativity that holds you back. Have it be something that inspires you to move forward.
And that's a good point. I was talking to a business associate the other day, and I was explaining some of the reasons why I thought I might be changing direction from one business opportunity to the next, and just the communication we were chatting on Facebook was too negative, because some of the things that I was telling him were, as I was writing them, I was thinking, this sounds too negative. I didn't really want to be putting that out to the universe. I think when you're making a change in your life, you can kind of talk about what you're running away from or what you're running to. And if you talk about what you're running away from out of fear or discomfort or something like that, that's kind of a negative feeling. And if you throw that out to the universe, you're going to probably attract more of that same type of thing back. Whereas if you can approach it like you were saying about moving forward with your situation with YouTube, rather than dwell on that and focus on the negative, you're saying, well, I have expectations for moving forward, and I'm just going to keep going forward. So you talk about change as being a positive thing and what you're moving toward, letting go of some of those things that were part of your life previously. You can talk about, moving forward, and rather than a sense of abandoning something, it's more a sense of, look what I'm moving to, look what I have to look forward to today. And I think if you can focus on that and throw that kind of vibe out to the universe, rather than a sense of loss, but a sense of moving on and purpose and going forward to something fresh and new. If you can approach it that way, you're going to attract more of what you want to attract in a positive sense.
Exactly. Like of the 200 or so videos I had up, the video that got the most views, and the channel name was youtube.com/lifevibes. I did a video called Positivity, and I drew a picture of this guy like holding his thumb up, and I drew a picture of a trillion across him, because I had just learned that day that our body has about 1 trillion different cells in it, or 100 trillion. I forget how many it was, but it was a lot of zeros. And I wrote the word positive underneath that, and I made a beat for it. And of all the videos I did that I've spent, hours and hours working on, this one I did in like 40 minutes, and it had over 10,000 views. And just like you were talking earlier, we put that positivity out there, and it's a good thing to keep moving forward with that. No matter what obstacles or potholes come your way, you just keep moving forward with the positivity.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that there's what's the word I'm looking for? Almost a depression or a sadness among some people. A somberness that life, that they're stuck in a rut, that things are never going to get any better.
Right.
I hear a lot of people say that, that's just my life. I can't really change it. And people they're kind of beaten down, and they start to believe that things are not, there's the old saying, anything's possible if you, think about it, and see it in your mind first. But some of these people have gotten so beaten down that they don't really see the possibility, or their imagination is kind of broken in a sense almost. So I think we have to, as not only as positive thinkers, but also as kind of our contribution to making the world a better place one person at a time is try and offer people some hope and some positive vision and get them to reopen their eyes, so to speak, and realize that, they're not buried in quicksand forever, and they can kind of, pull themselves out, so to speak. So I think that's a good journey and a good goal for us as mentors, or to help people, and that's something that I try and do all the time. The person obviously has to be at least a little bit open to accepting your help, and I think that's what I've learned to do personally a lot more is ask other people for help when I need help and realizing I can't do it all on my own.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes people think, that they're just out there all by themselves. There's no one that really cares about them. They're just going to be stuck in that same job or that same dead-end relationship forever, and they don't really see the hope. They've lost the hope, and they've lost the positive vision. And if we can kind of restore some of that lost passion and that hope in people, I think we're doing a good service to mankind, so to speak.
Absolutely. And one thing you said in that made me think of a business partner and friend of mine taught me a vocabulary word called facetiousness, or being facetious. And I didn't know what it meant. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, there's a difference between being sarcastic and facetious. Like, if you're being sarcastic, you're being negative. And a lot of people will try to use humor, like say, oh, the only luck I have is bad luck. And they'll say all this stuff to try to get people laughing. But what they don't realize is that they're not being funny or facetious. They're being sarcastic and negative. And, they get into that pattern where they keep talking that negative stuff, and eventually that's what their life starts to become. And like you said, people like you and me are there to lend a helping hand and say, look, what you say and think is important, and we can help you get around the type of mentors that we listen to in videos and books, and the positive people we try to surround ourselves with, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and the other thing is making sure that people understand that there's no agenda. My agenda is not the same thing as Jonathan's agenda or my goals. It's individual for each person, and when you approach it in such a way that you're not telling the person, you have to take my agenda, you have to help me meet my goals. When you're doing it as like a servant with a servant's heart to somebody, and putting it out there in such a way that there's no hidden agenda out there. You're just sticking your hand out and offering some help. Offering some help to a friend. And if they're able to take your hand and accept that, great. If they're not ready for it, you just let them know that, hey, in the future when you're ready to move forward, I'll still be here for you, and I'll still offer you a helping hand. And I think if we can approach it that way, then people understand that you're taking an interest in their life and what's going on in with their situation personally, and it's not about you telling them, oh, I know what's best for you. It's about you finding out what they really want, what really matters to them in their life, and trying to help them reach that goal.
Exactly. Like I've tried to share a business opportunity with someone before, and they said, do you want me to join? And they were expecting me to say, yes, I really want to work with you. I want you on my team. But even though I did want them on my team, I had to say no, because what I really wanted was them to do what they wanted to do. Like, don't join because you want to make me happy. Only join if it's what will make you happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like we'll find other people to join our businesses, but we only want people who are there because they want to be there, not because they're trying to make someone else happy,
Yeah, the passion has to be something that each individual has, obviously a different level of commitment, and that's based upon what their passion is. What are they really, what really makes you get up in the morning, rather than just stay in bed all day? Is it your family? Is it getting that boat? Is it being able to have a house that a home that you want of your own, where you feel like you're on the beach, or you're up in the mountains somewhere, or you've got a farm somewhere with all your dogs and cats and horses running around. Well, whatever the passion is that you have, whatever kind of gets the juices flowing. That's what we have to try and make sure that people stay connected with. And that's going to be different for every person.
Yeah, exactly. Like, most people want to just get food, keep a roof over their head, and, be able to, some people want to vacation every other month. And, we're not here to judge people on what makes them happy. We all have our own different set of goals, and, we can try to say, hey, look, you should find something that makes you happy and that's kind of congruent with helping the world in some way. And I think that's the type of people that you and I tend to attract on our teams, because there's nothing wrong with making money. And, the people that we attract ourselves with and to is the type who want to make money to give to charities and to help their families and, do good things, as opposed to like hoarding and being a miser. And, everything can be done not to excess. It can be done in a way that there's enough for everybody, like abundance mindset.
Yeah, leadership is not, forcing your opinion or your view onto everybody else,
Right.
forcing it down everybody's throat. It's more like Zig Ziglar had a saying, something like, if you want to be successful, help other people achieve what they want,
Right.
and you'll be successful in what you want. And it's different for everybody. Has their own idea of what's going to make them happy, and that also changes from time to time. I know things that I thought would make me happy 10, 20 years ago, now I'm kind of like, really? I thought that was going to be the answer. It's kind of like, as you get older, things change too. So, but it's important to make people understand that you're here to help them achieve what's going to make them happier in their life, or makes them most content or most happy with their situation. And it's not about what you want them, what you want them to do to make you feel more, big or more important. It's about what will make them the most content, the most, comfortable in their, it's like being comfortable in an old pair of jeans almost.
Right.
It's not giving somebody a new set of clothes and saying, wear these. It's like, what are you most comfortable in? What makes you most happy in your life? That's the place we want to help you find that place and stay in there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that was, a great example with Zig. And also, I was reading John Maxwell today, and he was asking people, like, do you have a plan to reach your goals? Like, a lot of people will set goals, like, I want to be able to have enough money to retire on, and, then they leave it at that. Like, okay, you made the goal, but have you made a plan on how to improve yourself so you can reach that goal? And, in the article, most people were saying they really haven't set up a plan of self-improvement to reach their goals. And, people like me and you, I know, are into that self-improvement because we realize that it's not out there, but it's inside where most of the work is done.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching someone, a DVD the other day where somebody was talking about writing down their 3 whys for why they got into a business or why they're doing what they want to do. There's different things that people talk about doing, putting up little stickies around the house or on your computer screen or on your mirror in the morning when you wake up, or saying something. And, I've heard people talk talk about listening, putting a speaker in their pillow and listening to things before they go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
People talk about having a vision board. I don't hear many people talk about that anymore, about what a vision board is. Hopefully most people know what that is and understand the idea behind that and what it means to. It's not enough just to have those thoughts in your head and not what's the word? Export those out into the universe, so to speak.
Right.
And put them out there in other ways rather than just in your head, so that they can start to be floating around into an area where they can be fulfilled. So I think it's important to talk about things like having a vision board, or putting little notes or reminders around the house for yourself, or waking up in the morning, having a little mantra or a little chant that you can say to yourself that helps you get going in the morning, even when you're having, when you wake up in the morning and you already think you're having a bad day and you haven't even had your first cup of coffee yet.
Right.
So I think there's things that we can suggest to people as ways to kind of light the fire, so to speak, or to keep the fire burning.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we can do to help people.
Yeah, I actually did a fireside chat on the vision boards and dream boards, and I'm glad you mentioned that again, because a lot of my friends have been talking about those, and I know it's time for me to rewrite my vision board. Every once in a while, like you said, your goals will change. So when your goals change, you have to rewrite the vision board and say, okay, now this is my new plan of self-improvement, my new goals of where I want to go and help people to get to.
Yeah, it's something that we have to keep reminding ourselves that as we go through life, our situation changes. We may have a new relationship, or we may have kids that come into the picture, or other things that can certainly change things. But the important thing is to not get hung up so much in, I didn't achieve that, or I never got that Ferrari, or if your goal changes so much, you can recognize that, maybe I didn't really want the Ferrari as much as I wanted the new home. I wanted the new home because that was more practical than spending all that money on the Ferrari or something like that.
Exactly.
So things can change, but the main thing is finding your passion, recognizing what you are passionate about, and sending that out to the universe. Like you say, when your goals and your dreams change, it's time to change your vision board. And it's not enough just to keep all that stuff pent up inside in your head. You've got to kind of let that stuff out and send it out to the universe in order for you to expect that you're going to get some kind of return on that.
Exactly. Well, hey, Scott, I really appreciate you coming on again, and totally enjoyed the conversation, but it's getting a little bit late, so I think I should close this one out. And I'll post the link below to the blog post if you want to comment to try to help me get the channel back. That'd be great. And if not, no worries. We'll still keep on through some venue, and very grateful to YouTube and Google Plus to allow us to use these tools to get this message out there. And I'm grateful for you for sharing the info and the stories, Scott. So look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, great talking with you again, Jonathan. You have a good, I guess it's Sunday morning for you, still Saturday morning here. But and I hope everybody finds this a way to get reconnected with some of the passions that are really truly matter to them in their lives.
Definitely. All right, viewers, love y'all. Talk to y'all soon, hopefully.